We look at the budget, recently announced budget. They say they want to address some of the biggest problems that people are facing today. They know the problems. Very good. What's the number one problem for PJ? Crime. Do you all feel safe? Do you all feel safe when you get out of the house? You come here very safe, and got a lot of police out there watching. Do you all feel safe? Do you all feel that in PJ now it is so safe that you can dismantle all the boom gates, you can get rid of all your security guards, and you can walk safely in the streets without fear that you will be robbed? No. But the police tells you that you are extremely safe. You are very safe. In fact, under Najib, crime has dropped by so much over the last 4 years. It has dropped by so much that today the reason why you don't feel safe is because you have mental problems. Not because it's really not safe, but because you have mental problems. And because you have mental problems, in the current year's budget, Najib has allocated 272 million, not to reduce the crime index, but to reduce. This is specifically written in the budget, so don't say that I'm twisting words. This is very specifically written in the budget. I quote exactly. 272 million to reduce the crime perception index. So 272 million not to reduce crime index, but to reduce your crime perception index. To put it very simply, brainwash. No, you have mental problems, time to wash your brains a bit, then you will think that we are a safe country. We have recently had the letter that was issued by an anonymous policeman, we assume he was a policeman, that actually opened a whole can of worms as to why the government is telling us one set of statistics, but at the same time, we are feeling completely unsafe. The government tells us that street crimes has gone down by 40%. The government tells us that overall crime has gone down by 20%. But we don't feel like crime has gone down by 40% or 20%. Why? Because the police officers, under pressure from the administration, are forced to reclassify crimes. How do they reclassify crimes? They tell you that we have index crime. So the crime index has gone down 40%. The crime index has gone down 25%. So crime index over 2007 to 2011 has gone down by 25%. 4 years, 25%. Very good. But they didn't tell you that's the crime index. There is also non-crime index. Or rather, non-index crime. So they only give you some of the crime. They don't give you all of the crime. Some crimes are reclassified as non-index crime. You may not understand what I'm talking about now because I also didn't understand when it was first exposed. How come got index crime, non-index crime? Crime is crime lah. But I will tell you what is index crime and what is non-index crime. Okay? Index crime means, uncle over there, I'm very strong, I grip your neck, pay me $500 or I will not let go, I will bash you up. He pays me 500 ringgit, I run away, that is an index crime. Another crime is I take out my pocket knife, I go to the auntie there, auntie, pay me 1,000 ringgit. You don't pay me, I stab you. She pays me 1,000 ringgit, I run away, that is an index crime. But if I have a penknife in my pocket, I go to the uncle there and say, pay me 2,000 ringgit. You don't pay me, you see what happens. Okay? He pays me 2,000 ringgit, I run away, I got caught. Then the police officer found a penknife in my pocket. That is a non-index crime. Everyone blur now, right? Everyone blur now. Why is that a non-index crime? That is a non-index crime because I will be investigated under attempted hidden or rather intent to cause harm because I kept a pocket knife in my pocket. So intent to cause harm is a lesser crime and hence it is a non-index crime. Most people don't believe it. I don't believe it either. But it is the way it is. So what they do when they catch culprits committing crime, they will try and find some weapon in your pocket. They say you are committing non-index crime, shift you to the non-crime index. What else? Burglary. Go into your house, break into your house. If I steal money, 5,000 ringgit from your house, index crime. But if I go into the house now, break into the house, you all are away, you know, and nowadays everyone go outstation, you make sure you keep everything safely, not put it in the house, take it out, put it in the bank, whatever. You don't keep valuables in the house anymore. I crush your entire house, tear down your cupboards, break your safes, break your windows, turn your house upside down, slash your sofas, try to find money hidden in your sofas, cannot find anything, leave the house empty-handed, non-index crime. And I tell you, this is real. How is it real? It is real because index crime went down by 25%, non-index crime went up over the same period, 2007 to 2011, by 69%. So index crime, they tell you very good, went down by 25%. Non-index crime, the one they don't tell you, went up by 69%. And when I asked for breakdown in Parliament, I specifically asked for breakdown in Parliament. I want breakdown for Petaling, Jaya, Utara, because that's my constituency. And I want breakdown by the types of crime. And I have the right to know because I'm the member of Parliament and the police keep the data. And what is the official reply from the Minister of Home Affairs? The Minister say, this trivial data you do need to know. The Minister specifically said this data is not important, so there is no need for us to supply you the information. Under the Parliamentary Convention, even if I ask the most trivial questions like how many cows are there in the country, if there is such data, the government is obliged to give it to me. And in this case, it is clear that the government has data of how much crime is there in PJ Utara, how much crime is there in PJ Selatan, how much crime is there in Klang. They refuse to break it down by district, they refuse to break it down by type of crime because they obviously have a lot of things to hide and they are hiding from Malaysians important data to protect their lives so that Najib can look good. Index crime went down by 25% over the last 4 years. And what do they want to do? They want to do by investing 272 million to improve crime perception index. What else did they do in the budget? They say cost of living very high. People feeling very poor. So as a result, they want to lower the cost of living for the people. Very good. I support. So to do that, what do? They set up Kedai Rakyat Satu Malaysia. Okay, you set up Kedai Rakyat Satu Malaysia. This year, they expand to Sabah and Sarawak. And I support the move to lower prices in Sabah and Sarawak because we have a lot of poor fellow citizens in Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, but what do? They allocated 386 million to open 57 new KRIM stores in Sabah and Sarawak. I thought about it, did simple calculation. Wow, every store is worth how much? Every store is worth something like 6.3 million ringgit to open. And the minister clarified, no, not the entire 386 million is used to open stores KRIM in Sabah and Sarawak. Only part of it. How much? The amount is 85 million. So 85 million is used to open 57 stores. Each store average is 1.53 million ringgit. Which retail kedai runcit cost 1.7 million to set up. And if you give them all this money to set up, what will happen? What will happen will be the money will all go to the contractors who make a lot of money. And at the end of the day, the money will not go to the people, and they will be competing against the honest mom and pop kendai runcits that are already existing in Sabah and Sarawak. It will eliminate competition for them because the government is paying for KRIM. And there's a major issue here. Why? This year, that means last year's budget, they allocated 40 million for 87 stores in Peninsular Malaysia. That is only 477,000 per store. This year is now 1.5 million per store. So in this case, who benefit? The party who benefits are the people who open the KRIM shops. Who owns the KRIM shops? My team. So even in policies to help poor people, to help them lower the cost of living, they will try and find ways to enrich their cronies. This is Barisan Nasional policy. Okay? Even in ways to help poor people, they will try to enrich their cronies. And we want the people to consider very carefully today. In 2008, many people say they tikam buta-buta vote for Pakatan Rakyat. Because you don't know what we are. We have never administered before. But you all hate Barisan Nasional so much, I don't care lah. Even if I vote for another devil, that devil cannot be as bad as the Barisan Nasional devil. You all voted blindly, some say. But this time around, you are not voting blindly anymore. You can tell the difference. We have some track record over the past 5 years, particularly in Selangor and in Penang. We have showcased our ability to administer. Selangor did not collapse. Penang did not collapse. Both are much better than they were during Barisan Nasional. You have heard Tan Sri Khalid Ibrahim. Compare him to Datuk Sri Muhammad K. Toyo. You want him back or not? No. You want K. Toyo back or not? No. This is one Tan Sri who will not take a single cent of the rakyat's money. I was supposed to talk about Talam tonight. I'll talk a little bit lah, just to justify the Talam forum. In the Talam case, 392 million was owed to the state agencies. Never collected by Barisan Nasional. Never collected. Tan Sri, having found out this, could have gone to Tan Sri Tanachai. Hey Tan Sri, come, we have dinner. I know that you owe this amount, 392 million. Over 10 years, no need to pay Barisan Nasional. You also admit that you owe 392 million. I know you are in financial difficulty, so I want to go easy on you. I want to create a win-win-win policy. I'll tell you what, you pay 30%. Cukup 30%, okay? To the state government. That way, I can tell the people, see, Barisan Nasional 1 cent also never collect, but Pakatan Rakyat government, we collected 30%. Then, for my favor, you give 20% to me and my friends. Just 20% only, not much. Okay, 50% we write off. Okay, at least the state got back 30%, I got 20%, you got 50% write off. Win, win, win. Got him. And that would have been that is what would have been done by a Barisan Nasional government. But what did Tan Sri Khalid Ibrahim do? He did not take a single cent from the transaction, hidden or not hidden. Every single cent of the 392 million debt was collected back by the state government, put into the fund so that more infrastructure projects can be built in Selangor, so that more welfare money can be granted to those in need, and every single cent has been collected and is being returned to the people of Selangor. This is not stated by me. This is not stated by Tan Sri Khalid Ibrahim himself. This has been verified after that boy keep making noise. This has been verified by the International Independent Auditor, KPMG. They said that Selangor state government has collected back every single cent, 100% of the 392 million debt outstanding from Talam Corporation to the Selangor state government. So there's no need for this Tan Sri to debate that this Datuk Chua Tiyong. No need, because the accountants have stated it, 100% collected. I want to ask in return, compare it to Barisan Nasional. Datuk Chua Tiyong himself. He is the Deputy Minister of Agriculture. Deputy Minister of Agriculture. Agriculture look after what? Look after cows, everyone know. I want to ask this Deputy Minister of Agriculture, who took so much time visiting the hills and lakes of Selangor to criticize the transaction with Talam. Has he ever been to the NFC farm to count how many cows are there in that farm? He never responded, because I know he has never been to the farm. What is more important, the people of Malaysia has extended 250 million in soft loan to NFC Corporation owned by the family of Datuk Shahrizad Jalil. I want to ask Datuk Chua Tee Yong, who has been critical about debt collection in state of Selangor, whether he is able to give the people of Malaysia the assurance that he will be able to collect back every single cent of the 250 million soft loan extended to Shahrizad's family, so that the people will not lose a single cent. Can he? Up to today, satu suara pun tak ada, satu bunyi pun tak ada. So it is very clear when you do a compare and contrast. We have to make the change. Last point, I know it's late. Last point, people always fear change. Barisan Nasional is trying to scare you into not changing with all sorts of excuses. Those who are fearful of religion say there will be hudud. Those who are fearful of their income says that Malaysia will go bankrupt because of Pakatan Rakyat policies. How many times have you heard or read in the newspapers, the mainstream newspapers, that Barisan Nasional leaders say that if we follow Pakatan Rakyat's policies, we will bankrupt the country? Many times. But I spoke to an global investment fund manager, just about 3 weeks ago. I asked him what is the opinion of the global fund managers over potential change in Malaysia. This is what he told me. He invests in emerging economies and he has seen change of government everywhere. He said that by and large, of all the countries I have invested in, I have never seen an economic collapse as a result of a change in government. In fact, on the contrary, in Brazil, he was talking about Brazil, many of you may not be familiar with Brazil. In Brazil in 2002, a socialist was elected president for the very first time, as opposed to the conservatives. And this socialist is famous for giving welfare, trying to help the poor, trying to give money to the poor so they can get out of poverty. He's famous for Zero Hunger program. His name is Lula da Silva. Lula da Silva, 2002 to 2010. They can do 2 terms only, or 4 years each. Stock market collapsed. The currency devalued immediately after his election. And what happened after that? Brazil, over the next 8 years, became the 8th largest economy in the world. Brazil, who was the largest foreign debtor in the world, that means the highest proportion of foreign debt in the world, highest, over just 8 years, became a net creditor of debt in the world. That means they have more loans given out than loans that they have taken. And Brazil's income, 20 million people who are in poverty, was brought out of poverty in just 8 years of his administration. It shows that if you have welfare policies, if you care for the people, it does not equate to a bankrupt country. What is important is every cent of the people's money is returned to the people. It is worked productively and invested wisely by the government, so that every cent is working hard to boost and grow your incomes in the economy while taking care of the poor. We do not want open tenders that is by cheating standards, that by and large is basically just a hidden way of giving crony contracts to your friends. As long as we save money for the people, we would have plenty of money in excess to do both our welfare policies as well as invest for our future, generate income for the future generations, to ensure that not only will our economy continue to grow, it will grow faster than any time ever under Barisan Nasional. So we ask for the people's support to help us transform this country. I will use Najib's word now. Real transformation, and not just a facade as presented by Najib Abdul Razak. Real transformation, get rid of corruption, have real good governance, and I'm sure with the help of the people of Malaysia, with the strength of our unity, with our multicultural, multi-religious and multilingual background, we can not only be the best country in Southeast Asia, we will be the best country, best example in the whole of Asia. So I hope in the coming general elections, and I'm sure I'll be speaking to all of you more often very, very soon. Najib has to call elections at some point. We will fight together, we will spread the word, and we want to make Malaysia a much better place for all of us. Thank you very much. Selamat malam.